The Crusades and the changing face of warfare. The Crusades were not only a pivotal chapter in religious and cultural history, but also a transformative period in the evolution of warfare. Spanning nearly 2 centuries, the Crusades saw the adaptation of traditional European military practices to new challenges, the introduction of advanced technologies, and the emergence of military orders that bridged the gap between combat and faith. These campaigns reshaped the way wars were fought, organized, and justified, leaving a lasting impact on medieval and modern military practices. Warfare in the early Crusades, European strategies and adaptation. When the First Crusade was launched in 1096, European warfare was primarily rooted in feudal traditions. Armies were composed of knights and their retainers, bound by fealty to their lords, and their strategies emphasized heavy cavalry and direct assaults. The Crusades, however, exposed European forces to the complexities of fighting in the Middle East, requiring them to adapt to unfamiliar terrain, climate, and enemies. Challenges of the terrain. The rocky deserts and arid landscapes of the Holy Land contrasted sharply with the lush forests and temperate plains of Europe. Crusading armies, accustomed to fighting on open fields, struggled to navigate narrow mountain passes, endure scorching heat, and manage scarce water supplies. The need for logistical planning became paramount, leading to the development of more sophisticated supply chains and siege tactics. Encountering the Seljuk Turks and Islamic armies. European knights faced skilled adversaries in the form of the Seljuk Turks and later the Ayyubid and Mamluk forces. These opponents employed light cavalry, archery, and hit-and-run tactics, exploiting their mobility and knowledge of the terrain. In response, Crusaders began to integrate similar tactics, relying on reconnaissance, adaptability, and defensive formations. The evolution of siege warfare. Siege warfare became a defining feature of the Crusades, as the capture of fortified cities and castles was often critical to success. Both sides employed advanced engineering techniques to outmaneuver their opponents, leading to significant developments in siegecraft. Crusader siege techniques. Crusaders brought traditional European siege engines, such as battering rams and catapults, to the Holy Land. However, they quickly adopted innovations from the Islamic world, including counterweight trebuchets and advanced tunneling methods. The prolonged siege of Jerusalem in 1099, which culminated in the capture of the city, demonstrated the importance of persistence and ingenuity in overcoming formidable defenses. Fortifications in the Holy Land. The Crusader states relied heavily on the construction of castles to maintain their hold on the region. Fortresses such as Croc de Chevaliers and the Citadel of Acre showcased the integration of Western and Eastern architectural influences. These castles featured thick walls, moats, and strategically placed towers, serving as both defensive strongholds and symbols of Crusader power. Conversely, Islamic engineers improved their fortifications in response to Crusader attacks, creating a dynamic arms race that advanced military architecture on both sides. The role of naval power. The importance of naval power grew significantly during the Crusades, as control of the Mediterranean became essential for transporting troops, supplies, and reinforcements. The rise of maritime states. Cities like Venice, Genoa, and Pisa emerged as key players in the Crusades, providing ships and expertise in exchange for trade privileges and territorial concessions. The Venetian fleet, for instance, played a crucial role in transporting Crusaders during the Fourth Crusade, although their economic ambitions ultimately diverted the campaign to Constantinople. Naval battles and blockades. Naval engagements and blockades became critical to controlling key ports and supply lines. The use of galleys equipped with rams and siege weapons demonstrated the growing sophistication of naval warfare. The ability to project power across the sea allowed the Crusaders to maintain their foothold in the Holy Land, even when land routes were compromised. Military orders and the fusion of faith and warfare. The emergence of military orders during the Crusades marked a unique blending of religion and military professionalism. These organizations combined monastic vows with martial training, creating a new model of soldier priest that would have a profound impact on medieval warfare. The Knights Templar. The Templars, founded in 1119, were one of the most famous military orders. Charged with protecting pilgrims and defending the Holy Land, they operated as a highly disciplined and well-equipped force. Their wealth and influence extended beyond the battlefield, as they also developed early banking systems to support crusading efforts. The Knights Hospitaller and the Teutonic Order. The Hospitallers and the Teutonic Knights were similarly influential, combining charitable missions with military objectives. These orders built fortresses, organized campaigns, and served as an elite fighting force. Their structure and efficiency foreshadowed the professional armies of later centuries. Technological innovations. The Crusades served as a crucible for technological exchange, introducing Europeans to innovations from the Islamic world and beyond. Crossbows and composite bows. The crossbow, already in use in Europe, gained prominence during the Crusades for its ability to penetrate armor. Crusaders also encountered the composite bow, used by their Muslim opponents, which combined power and range with portability. These weapons influenced the evolution of ranged combat in medieval Europe. Gunpowder and early firearms. Although gunpowder was not widely used during the Crusades, the campaigns facilitated contact with regions where it was already being developed, such as China. The transmission of knowledge about gunpowder would eventually revolutionize warfare in Europe. Armor and weaponry. The Crusades also spurred advancements in armor and weapon design. Strategic legacy. The professionalization of warfare continued. Standing armies. The Crusades marked a departure from the reliance on feudal levies, knights and soldiers called upon by their lords for limited campaigns. The prolonged nature of the Crusades required consistent military presence, leading to the development of more permanent professional forces. This shift was particularly evident in the military orders, which maintained disciplined, full-time troops. Monarchs and commanders also began to recruit and pay mercenaries, laying the groundwork for later standing armies that characterized early modern Europe. Logistics and supply chains. The extended campaigns of the Crusades necessitated unprecedented levels of logistical planning. Moving large armies across continents and sustaining them for years required effective organization of food, water, weaponry, and medical supplies. The reliance on maritime supply routes emphasized the importance of naval logistics, while inland campaigns highlighted the need for mobile resources and depots. This increased emphasis on supply chains was a precursor to modern military logistics, emphasizing efficiency and resource management. Taxation for war efforts. To fund the Crusades, rulers and the Church implemented new taxation systems, including special levies like the Saladin taille, imposed in England and France to support the Third Crusade. These financial mechanisms allowed for more sustained military campaigns and set a precedent for war-driven taxation in European states. Tactics and strategy. Lessons from the Crusades. The Crusades were a crucible for tactical and strategic innovation, driven by the need to adapt to new types of warfare and adversaries. Adaptation to guerrilla warfare. Taxation for war efforts. To fund the Crusades, rulers and the Church implemented new taxation systems, including special levies like the Saladin taille, imposed in England and France to support the Third Crusade. These financial mechanisms allowed for more sustained military campaigns and set a precedent for war-driven taxation in European states. Tactics and strategy. Lessons from the Crusades. The Crusades were a crucible for tactical and strategic innovation, driven by the need to adapt to new types of warfare and adversaries. Adaptation to guerrilla warfare. Facing mobile and highly coordinated Muslim armies, the Crusaders learned to counter guerrilla tactics and ambushes. The use of scouts, forward reconnaissance, and disciplined troop formations became essential to mitigate the advantages of faster, more agile opponents. Combined arms strategy. The Crusades witnessed the early development of combined arms tactics, integrating cavalry, infantry, and siege weapons to achieve battlefield objectives. Heavy cavalry charges, a hallmark of European warfare, were supplemented with infantry to hold positions and protect flanks, while siege engines provided support during prolonged assaults. Defensive fortifications and strategic retreats. Crusader.